Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
Some of the defense attorneys have talked about what they're calling the O.J. effect, and now it's being called the Casey effect, or Casey Anthony effect, rather, where jurors basically feel that O.J. Simpson and or Casey Anthony were wrongfully acquitted, that a guilty person is walking free, and they fear that jurors could now take out this anger on their clients. Judge Seidlin, is that a real concern for Conrad Murray? Are we actually seeing this effect?
The judge decides he's going to allow this case to be televised. At the same time, he says the jurors can go home. They don't have to be sequestered. That means these jurors in the evening are going to be hammered by TV, newspapers, their family, their friends. It's going to be a drumbeat against Dr. Murray. They're going to say he killed the king of pop. I find it unconscionable that the court said we're not going to sequester the jury. The judge had to decide the expense involved in putting the jury up in a hotel versus the justice to give to Dr. Murray. I believe this is totally unfair. Can you imagine the Casey Anthony case if you allowed those jurors to go home every night?
Yes,
and listen to the pundits on TV?
Yes, I think they would have been unlikely to find her not guilty. And I think people were wishing that those jurors had gone home, but that's a different issue.
Right.
But Judge, I know you're not one to hold your opinions to yourself, so I'm just curious, what is going to happen? What's your predictions here as we're heading into this case? I feel like one of the NFL, one of the NFL anchors. What's your predictions on the game? But what are your predictions in this trial?
I'm going to predict to you what's going to happen. I predicted that Casey Anthony would walk. I was one of the only leading legal analysts that said she'd walk. I said she was overcharged. This one's going to be tough for Dr. Murray. He's not as pretty as Casey Anthony, and the jurors are going to be able to go home. That's a big problem. In this case, I think Dr. Murray's going to be in trouble. I think these jurors are going to have a hard time not getting prejudiced by the legal commentators discussing this case. He might be facing time. This is a 4-year jail term, this kind of crime. He may not get sentenced to that type of time. I feel there's a good chance he may be found guilty.